Hi friends! I know the lighting is a little different today, and that's because I'm recording this at sunset. So we're going to try it and see how it turns out, but so far I like it a lot better than my usual lighting. Um, I know you can't really see this half of my face because the window is on the side of me, but we're gonna roll with it anyway. So, yeah. Um, In the last episode vlog, I forgot to mention the name of the episode, and the first episode's title was Gem Glow, and this one was called Laser Light Cannon. By the way, ignore this. I just scraped myself at work, so don't worry about it. Don't mention it in comments. It's just me being clumsy. Um, but I'm okay. Shut up, phone. um, so yeah. My thoughts on this episode. I enjoyed this episode a lot more than the last episode. I actually really liked this one. I think the character of Greg, which is Steven's dad, um, I thought he was really cool and fun. Um, they didn't really focus on the gems so much in this episode. It was more focused on Steven and his dad and their relationship, which I kind of like. It kind of uh, grew Steven's character a little bit, um, in my eyes. So anyway, the episode starts off with Steven and Amethyst going to like this little fast food place, but it's very small. But they proceed to like demand French fry bits, and I thought that was a little odd because the gems are supposed to be Steven's caretakers, so technically like his parents. And Amethyst was basically teaching Steven to be obnoxious to minimum wage workers after the shop closes, which is like the worst thing ever because I've had experience where customers stay after like closing time and I'm just like, please go away. So, yeah. So far, I don't really like Amethyst. I think she's kind of annoying in the episodes I've seen her in so far. So, sorry if you're an Amethyst lover. I just don't really like her that much. So, yeah. Sorry. Um, and after they eat the fry bits, they see this giant, like, rock looking red eyeball in the sky. And I was actually planning on making a pink eye joke in this vlog, but then Steven went ahead and made a pink eye joke for me in the actual episode, so I don't have to. but yeah, I thought that was kind of coincidental that like I thought it and then the show said it, so yeah. Um, but anyway, so in order to destroy this giant red eye, they need Steven's mom, Rose Quartz, her laser light cannon weapon. Which brings to question, when the crystal gem dies, does that mean their weapon stays? Or, like, or was that like an extra weapon that she just made and not like attached to her? It's very confusing, but hopefully they'll address that later. Um, But anyway, so that's when Steven goes to see his dad because he thinks that his dad probably still has it. And so his dad takes him to a storage unit, which, as someone who has a storage unit myself, I'm kind of wondering how much Greg pays for this storage unit because it's huge and he lives in a van. So I'm like, is he spending all of his money on this storage unit full of a bunch of stuff that he doesn't even like use? Because they mention like Steven comes across a bunch of golf clubs and he's like, do you golf? And his dad is like, I'd like to think of myself as someone who will golf eventually. And I'm like, he's a pack rat. But I did really like how Steven came across a drum and he just couldn't resist hitting the drum at least once. That is so relatable because, like, if I was in that situation looking for something, even if it was really urgent and I came across the drum, I would still go boop. So, yeah, that was like, I don't know. I like little things like that in cartoons. But, anyway, he finds the cannon and brings it out, and in order to transport it to the beach, um, they try putting the cannon in this wagon, but it's so heavy that it breaks. And this is the part where I legitimately laughed. They had it hooked up to the van, right? And they were gonna like wheel the wagon, but since it broke and went through to the ground, they decide to just go anyway and have the bottom of the cannon like scraping the ground as they go. That was so funny to me, and I don't even know why. It's like not even a joke. It's just kind of like it is. But I thought it was funny. Um, and they also mentioned that Greg was a one-man band, which, like, one-man bands are kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I listen to a lot of them on, like, Bandcamp and stuff, and I recently met this guy playing at a farmer's market, and he gave me his CD. So, like, obviously I'm a fan. And then they were, like, playing his CD, and he was pretty good. A lot of one-man bands are, except for this one that I found on Bandcamp, and this guy could not carry a tune for the life of him, but I still listened to his entire demo album because I'm just that kind of person. Sometimes I like listening to really shitty music just because. Just because. I don't know why. But, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm so weird, but, you know, it takes a lot of guts to put your music out there. So even if you listen to something ironically, at least you're listening to it, you know? And I'm sure that person appreciates it. Just don't tell them that you're listening to it ironically. And I've never met this person I'm talking about. And I'm not gonna name names or what the name of the album was or anything. I'm just gonna say it was on Bandcamp and it was bad. But anyway, so done with that tangent. The coloring effects in this episode. I really like the one where the red eye is like really close to the beach and it's starting to like suck stuff up like um, I wouldn't say a black hole because that's kind of a misconception. Black holes don't really suck stuff into them. Um, like a vacuum. So it's starting to suck stuff up into it like a vacuum. And the lighting goes like shades of red and pink and white and kind of reddish grayish tones, and I really thought that was cool. And then after the eye gets destroyed, spoilers, of course they're gonna save the day, but after the eye gets destroyed, it's like nighttime at that point, I think, and so everything is like cool toned, which I really liked. I really liked the colors of the gems, and the van was very colorful in the light. So when it was dark and everything was in cool toned, it looked really nice and pleasing to the eye for me. Like, I love cool tones, so of course I'm going to like that. But anyway, so one of the major reasons that I like this episode is because it gave me a huge clue for how Steven's gem is activated, and I think I figured it out. I'm sure not everyone figured it out as quickly. Maybe I'm wrong, but considering my history and how many Magical Girl series I've seen, I'm going to guess that Steven's gem is activated by love, which is a major theme in a lot of Magical Girl series. A lot of their powers come from love or friendship. So, and the reason why I came to this conclusion is that in the first TV episode, his gem started glowing when he was eating the cookie cats, and he was like really happy. And I think he said at one point that he loved them, but I'm not sure. But either way, ice cream is my favorite food. I can totally understand loving the ice cream so much that it gives you magical powers. I can understand that. But in this episode, it was much more blatant what the theme was, because he was with his dad and they were bonding over the course of this episode. And to activate the laser light cannon, he had to activate like his gem powers, right? And he said the phrase that his dad, quote unquote, always says, but of course, since he was just introduced in this episode, we only hear him say it like 2-3 times in the course of this episode. So he says that, and that makes me think, you know, he's expressing his feelings of love for his dad. So there you go. You just have to embrace / express your feelings of love, and that makes the gem power happen. Which I don't think that's true of all of the gems. I'm just, you know, Steven right now. I'm just theorizing about Steven. I don't know about the other gems. I'm not even sure half of them are capable of love, considering what I've seen of like the memes and stuff. That's all I know about this show, is the memes I've seen online, which a lot of people get into shows from memes. I know a lot of people got into My Little Pony because of the memes. Were there ever memes of Adventure Time made? I don't know. But if there were, then I could believe that happening too. But anyway, so yeah. All I know about this show is from memes. So excuse me if I'm like coming up with these false pretenses for certain gems. But yeah. So I think Steven's gem is activated by love. If I'm wrong, don't tell me. I will figure it out for myself as I continue to watch the series. I want to have the feeling of discovery like I had for this episode, because that makes me enjoy the episode more when I can discover things. I know that sounds weird, but I like discovering things and experiencing things. So, there's a word for that. It's like an experience collector or something like that. I don't know the exact word for it, but that's what I am. I like experiencing things. So, not everything though. There are certain things I wouldn't want to experience, and I'm not going to talk about them on YouTube because we're not going to go there. Anyway, wow, this vlog got really like tangenty. But, you know, that's kind of making it more evident about how much I enjoyed the episode, if I have a lot more to say when I'm talking about the episode, because I don't know if you noticed, but in the last vlog I was kind of like, meh, because I didn't like it as much as the pilot, but I like this episode more than the first one and the pilot. So, I have a lot to say because I really enjoyed it, and now I kind of want to watch more, but I don't want to record 2 vlogs of myself in a row, because then I'll be in the same outfit, and then people in the comments will be like, oh my god, you're wearing the same outfit, meh, 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 meh. Even though I'm sure I wore this shirt at some point in one of my Sailor Moon vlogs, but you know how people are. They're so judgmental, even though they don't know the context. If I record 2 vlogs at the same time, of course I'm going to be wearing the same shirt. You can't expect me to change clothes like every 20 minutes or so. That's stupid. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. So, until the next episode, which I'm actually looking forward to now, um, that's all I have to say. So, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye!